shot the video twice.
What? How? Why? What happened?
Nobody knows this, but I think the video was shot twice.
Okay.
And then the first one did not make the cut. This is like inside information.
Okay.
The first video did not make the cut.
Why? What happened? Welcome yet again to another episode of The Story Clip Show with myself, Katovi, and the amazing producer, Dougie, who is back behind us trying to do a little thingy. He's bopping and jeeping. He's just doing a lot. But today, I feel like it's been one of those sort of interesting coincidences in life, right? So we were trying to get this particular artist on this show for like a while, and luckily, by sheer coincidence, I met him randomly at an event. And I was like, you know what? We've been trying to get you on our show for a minute. And so it was so cool that we at least got acquainted. We got to know each other a little bit in our different aspects of life. I actually saw him performing for the first time in my life. And I am telling you, he is an impressive artist. He is a songwriter extraordinaire. And among many other things, he's a fine-looking Kamba boy. I am talking about none other than Mbithi, A.K.A. Kamba boy, A.K.A. Ulinambia Superman, Kamba man, not Superman. I'm telling you, this man goes by so many AKAs, and here he is on the Story Clip Show. What's up, Mbithi?
Wow, I love the energy. I love the intro.
Welcome. We will sell.
Nesapio.
Let me tell you, I am not very good at Kamba, but I can respond. I can say one or two things. And I know you might not know this, but I am also Kamba, by the way. If you don't know this,
you're
on this
Kamba,
show.
Yeah.
I am also...
No, you look like a Kamba.
How do Kambas
like
look? Eh? How do Kambas look?
They're pretty.
Compliments. We love it. And I feel like it's one of those... really cool things that we have to let you do yourself. Now, I've given you my introduction of Mbithi as I know him, but I feel like sometimes we take away a few things here and there if we don't let you introduce yourself. So, Mbithi, tell us, who is you? And I know it is one of those irritating questions because every time someone asks me, who are you? And I just go like, I am who I am. But in your own words, how would you describe yourself?
Mbithi is a Kamba boy. Mbithi is a singer, songwriter, rapper, filmmaker. Mbithi is a lover of music. Is a creator of art. Is a part of this art. Is part of this art.
An additional human being on this beautiful earth.
Yeah. We're here to create some good impact, some dope impact before I leave.
Okay. And to be entirely honest, I feel like so far you are making a mark in the industry. I do not know how to explain this to you, but every time I listen to a song by you, I don't know why, I always just go from, it's just a random song playing in the background. I don't even know what that is. And then I hear you going with a Kamba and I'm just like, it's the boy. It's Mbithi. He's doing his thing.
The Kamba boy.
And I get so excited hearing your music. And I think I feel like, again, one of those things that we will ask you later on this show is we are waiting for our EP. Our 6-song EP, which was promised to us back in 2020. But let's put a pause on that. We're going to put a pause on that because you have to answer that question. We are so... To go your point in your... Lazima upatikane. Lazima upatikane. So, a quick introduction to anyone who has not heard this amazing person doing his thing. He started singing many years ago. He says class 4, class 5. This is back in 2005. Apparently, jam sessions, pale, siku ya kuclean shule on Thursday. He's over there dropping his bars, doing his thing. Class 8 boys hating on him because his bars are so sick. He has mentioned many times that he is a lover of not just hip-hop, but specifically 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. Am I going too far? Am I lying, Bibi?
You've done your research. I love that.
In addition to his love for music, I think he is also into cinema. So he's mentioned many times that he's a cinema guy. Let's call it cinematographer. And I have been really curious to ask you because I've watched some of your videos, including but not limited to Kesha, which is, I swear to God, one of my favorite songs by you. I'm not gonna lie, I love that song. And then we have A.K.A and a few other music videos which you have done. And I've been keen to ask, do you do your own direction? Like, do you direct your music videos because of your history in actually going to school for cinematography, or is it just one of those things where you just rap, you are the cool kid in that case?
One thing about me, I'm very hands-on. I'm very picky, and also I'm very hands-on with my creative process.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, I'm always directing. I'm always hands-on with like everything. So even like before I write a song, a beat might just listening to the beat would give me an idea of just visually where I would like to go, like in my head, and how this story should look like, or how the pictures or colors should look like, or what concept, even before I write. So sometimes these concepts come before I write a song, and sometimes concepts come after after the song. So I'm very hands-on with it. Plus, I feel like I went to film school because of my music, so I kind of cheat on music with film like every time.
Okay. Now there's this video which you released, and honestly, that video up until this moment, like I think about it and I'm just like, those visuals were just remarkable. It was such a simple concept. I mean, it's just a rotating camera, but like the switch up, the transitions from outfit to another. Did you guys have a fog machine on that video? I am speaking about Banga. It's one of those music videos that is done by a Kenyan, and I'm just looking at like, dang, we got some creative people in this house. How did you come up with that concept? Because I love the song. The song alone is pretty much a banger, but the video concept was also pretty easy. It was so easy to flow with it. The lyricism also was such a simple concept. It was very, very much in line with what was happening at that moment in time, which was the whole Corona situation. But at the same time, it still felt relevant up until now. So even when you listen to the song now, maybe 2 years later, it actually does still stick. And you've said this before on an interview that I watched, that you create music that has a shelf life. And true to it, with that song, not just the visuals, but the outfit changes, the lyricist status in you that came out with that song. I love it. Tell me about Banga.
She had my music and she told me she feeling my vibe. Ni ndoto tu hawezi jua inaweza kama live back to reality.
Well, Banga was the first project that I did with like a legendary producer. His name is Saint P. So just going around the video, it was like one of those quick plans that you just record because the beat is so dope.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. So when I got the beat, I just quickly wrote for it. And then I was so present because I really like being present, like with things and with people, and just with nice things in the present. So it came. So after recording, I was really in the zone, and I was thinking of concepts. And then so there's this guy who creates the rigs on Instagram. It's called Protisa. He creates rigs for filmmakers.
Okay.
And then I saw on his profile picture he was creating that rotating thing. It was like actually by the time I was getting that rig on set, ilikuwa nimemalizwa like jana usiku.
Oh, okay, fresh.
When I saw him making the rig, I was like, that would be an interesting idea for a video, just rotating and then I added the rapping and smoking and changing clothes and just having that gangster demeanor. and yeah, and then I went to the film school where I used to be in at ADMI.
ADMI,
Yeah, so that video we shot it at the ADMI film school at the studio. Yeah, the TV studio.
Okay.
Yeah, since I was an alumni there, I just asked for permission and then they gave me the permission to shoot. And then I got a very dope director who shot it too and edited. His name is Mike Lowley. Big up to him as well. Yeah, and then we created the magic. My friend did the makeup. Her name is Nana. Yeah, it was a whole vibe that we shot. We shot in the afternoon. It was like 3 hours. It was like for 3-4 hours, yeah. But the experience was really amazing because it was a new technology. It was not like really new, but it was like
it was a new concept. Just take
not
it.
done.
Take
Yeah,
your
it was
wins.
like-
Take it.
it was not done like here. So yeah, so we got it to happen. We just got that vision to life, me and my friend.
I genuinely love that song. I love that video. It was so simple, but yet so cool. I felt like I was being immersed into one of those, like a Peter McKinnon type vibe, you know? If you know Peter McKinnon, then you know this guy. He's crazy with concepts and video concepts. So it felt like for a moment there, I was transported into this really cool like space. So I'm just like, oh my god, how they're doing that, how they're switching the lights. Oh my god, the lighting's so dope. How did they manage to cover all the trust me when I tell you, I loved the video and I loved the song. Now when you started off, it was one song. It was Panda, which kept playing and playing and playing on their station, and then now you are added onto music videos. You know the way you're in Ganyas and you hear a jam and you're like, yes, that was you. You went from Capital FM playlist to being played on like literally every Nganya, and then here we are. How did that escalation happen? Because it was, most people don't ever see the behind the scenes. You've been doing music for what, 10-12 years, right? And all we know is like this 2020, 2021, 2022, when we started to see Mbithi and we're like, whoa, this guy is so dope. Where did he come from? What is his, inspiration and all of that? But we weren't there when you saw that first transition. The first time we got into Anganya and you're like, hang on, is that me? Are they playing me? These motherfuckers are playing me and they don't even know I'm in this Nganya. How did that feel to you like?
At first, there was some anxiety. It's like, it was like, it felt claustrophobic now. It's like, why are there so many people? Why am I trapped up in a match with so many people and people are watching my video and they don't. And the good thing it was COVID era. So I was in my mask and stuff. But I was like, okay, it's pretty nice.
I mean,
it's pretty nice, yeah.
And the excitement,
That's the time when I come out and I okay. And my friend is like, okay. That's good.
You're
That's
wondering
nice.
whether the conductor has recognized you and you have to tip him now because the pressure is getting worse.
Msanii, taka msanii mtalo.
Oh my god.
Once they figure out it's you.
And then
but it's an amazing feeling.
Okay. I love that, and I can imagine that just like, first of all, there's that fact that, oh my god, I'm making it now. People are listening to my music, and then you're like, damn, now I have to change my lifestyle. I can't do jobs anymore. I gotta hide. I don't want these people to start handing me right, left, and center, because that's exactly what happens. Immediately someone is like, oh, this is Mbithi, Buddha, shikilia, sijui fanya nini, sijui nunua shorts wapi. And you're like, I have to change my lifestyle now. But sometimes we forget that just because your song is hitting, it doesn't necessarily translate when it comes to the money in your pocket. So did you feel the pressure of like, oh God, what am I doing now?
No, not really. I think growing up, growing up, I've always been myself. I've always been like true to who I am. And one thing I'm always praying for, I'm always keen on is not letting, popularity or attention, let alone fame, just popularity or attention change my character, change my lifestyle or anything. And so I feel like it's just just remaining, just staying solid to the person that you really are, and then just moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when the money comes, when the lifestyle actually changes, you kind of go with it to that level. It's not like, okay, you're jumping, you're incurring debt, you're kulaying ukutala loans, sijui cruise loans, loans zote umechukua, so you can keep up with the lifestyle.
At the end of the day.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, there's something about your music that really reminds me of these few artists. Mona A.K.A, Nasty C, a little bit of King Kaka in the mix there, and I know you love Sarkodie. So that is like, usually when I listen to your music, I'm like, I can feel all of that energy. And then I thought about it and I'm like, wait, Nasty C also said he was obsessed with Lil Wayne when he was younger. That's what, to me, you sound like. So have you heard this a lot, and do you feel like it's true? And who are you looking at now? Because back then it was 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. Who are you looking at now?
Well, at first when every artist begins discovering themselves, they first try to emulate some people as a guide. As a guide to their skills, and then with time, the more you know yourself, the more you research on your craft, the more you practice, you come and start defining your sound. So at first, when I used to actually do a lot of trap and boom bap music, I was pretty much rapping in a lot of English as well and stuff. So at first it was like that, but then with time you start discovering your sound, start looking for your sound, and also perfecting your craft. So you start defining your own style. Yeah. And so like nowadays I'm inspired by African musicians, both recent ones and also them legends. I think since I started discovering myself, and also as an artist and as a person, I've become more glued to my roots, and also just trying to create sound that is very original and authentic, and chooses to stand out instead of fitting in. With every other sound. So I think time and practice defines an artist.
Yeah. You also get to refine your sound a lot more, because yes, you may sound like you may sound similar to someone else, but like the way you you end up doing your thing is a lot different. Your style is a lot different. In fact, even the way you write is very different. You may sound a little bit like someone else, or they may sound like you, but then you are still very unique in your Kamba boy vibe. I genuinely, I love it. Now we get into dissecting the meat that is the music. Now, the first song I ever heard by you was Scenario featuring Brandy Minor.
Kamba boy over here. Yeah. Wanasemanga kachu sako kauna da vitu zikaiswe kapola nikeo kwa zile vitu muombe finya mute kani bombe na maombea juu pesa makaratasi ndiyo minimum bea ile nyuma naweza rudi labda reverse kwa benzo.
And it was one of those, like, you know, Common has this very interesting way where he writes, and it's more like a story about, hey, you're here now, but you're going there. So you just need to focus on the there and just keep doing what you need to do in order to get there. Such an inspirational song. It was you called it soul food, and I completely agree. It felt like you were actually feeding your soul. So first of all, how did you come up with the song itself? And when did you bump into Brandy and be like, girl, you know what? We can sing. We can do something together. Tell us the journey of Scenario.
So scenario happened to me when a lot of things were happening to my life at that particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going through some phase called depression. Hi. So I was going through some phase called depression, and also my dad, who is late now, was in hospital at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So during that whole phase of my life, I got that's when I wrote Scenario, and it became quite fluid to me. And then me and Brandy, we've been meaning to do some work together for a while. So that particular moment, I just figured like who would really complete this jam and get. So I just went through a couple of artists that I figured would fit into that track, and then Brandy came to mind, and good things tukoshaanza kupanga kufanya collab. So I reached out to her, told her I have this particular jam that I would love her to give me her effect on it. Because to me, I feel like music is very mental, so it's not. So to me, it's more about who would complete this jam, who would help this jam communicate to people's hearts and feelings and mind, and souls at the end of the day. So it's a song that I listen to in the morning when I'm in my lowest, or when I want to get into my God mode. So that's how Scenario really happened. And then I met the director. The director. This director comes from TZ. He was in Kenya for a while. So we linked up. Shout out to him. We linked up and created and did this video in some place in Tigoni.
Oh wow! I love Tigoni. So beautiful.
Yes. Some place in Tigoni. The director's name is
Ezra. Shout out Ezra for helping produce such an amazing
Ezra did an amazing video. The producer is Dilly. The producer is Dilly. He's a legendary producer as well.
He is. He really is. And I feel like to some extent I can relate to that song a lot more, because I feel like every time I listen to it, it puts me in the same headspace that you sound like you were in. It's difficult to process grief, and first of all, sorry for the loss of your dad. I lost my mom a couple of years ago, and it was just tough. It's impossible to imagine where you're gonna be a few days, a few hours, a few years after they've left us, and it always just leaves that hole in your soul. Like you can never really quite feel it. So I feel like I understand, and for that reason, I really gelled with that jam. It just felt like, it's tough, but it can be better. You know, it can be.
It's not permanent.
It's not.
It's a scenario.
Well, in some cases it is, but like the pain, you learn to live with it, and it becomes easier over time. So that was a really good song. Shout out to Brandy as well for like hopping on that jam.
Hela kidogo naishikawa maskama. Mavijana wanapenda na baba mama. Tunamimina justice balana. Wameshikwa na fomo juu ya waku jajana. Mama popo.
I love that song.
I
love it. Now I met Charisma at Oktoberfest, and he is a ball of energy. Like that man is just insatiable. He is always jumping. He's just a fun guy to be around. And when I saw that you've done so many songs with him, including Unavyonipenda, and I loved the performance of that song to begin with, because like it's that Kamba, you know, Yani, the way you throw it in there like it's nothing. Such a beautiful song. There was a funny part which I laughed because you know when they were serenading this girl and she was like sat up on some space and they were dancing those two, R&B type vibe dances. I died. But it is such a cool song.
That's a dope job.
Yeah, so tell me about Unavyonipenda. And I know you wrote it for Charisma and then you hopped on the beat, right?
No, not really.
Uh-huh.
Me and Charisma is the same. Me and Charisma, we've been wanting to do a jam together. So we linked up at the studio. Mm-hmm. That time I was in between things. I was in between a rehearsal and then this session. So while we were beginning, we had like a block. Mm-hmm. Like a writer's block, a creative block, which happens when we artists. Mm-hmm. We were trying to, we created like, I don't know, like 2 jams. Like we moved around jams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, then I was like, nah, let's begin another one. Mm-hmm. Let's begin another one. And then since I had another rehearsal, it's a long story. So I had another rehearsal, since I had a rehearsal, I was like, let me rush to the rehearsal. And then when you guys find something, I'll come back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I'll be back since my rehearsal was like an hour long. So like, I in the rehearsal when he comes. Mm-hmm. So when I came back, I found that they were on like to some sound with my producer. His name is Joe P. So
shout out Joe P. I know Joe P.
You know Joe P, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we created. So we in the studio, found them jamming, and then just sat down and got into the zone. And then again, as I repeat, I always think of how my input would complete a jam. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. So when I'm doing a song, I'm not competing. I'm completing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I love that.
Yeah. So I figured what kind of input would I add to this song to complete the input that Charisma has put into the jam and also the contributions of the producer. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mazi. So I got into the zone, created the Nina Vatana. I just slid into the verse. I slid into the jam, and easy. And then we wrote a jam, and it's a classic. Wrote a classic.
Oh my God, I love that song. I love it to bits. It's just the addition of mimi, nye. But in case you don't know what nye means in Kikamba, it actually means me. Yani, I ninapata naku means I need you. Yeah. And then it's like you're reiterating it, be like, I need you. And yes, I mean me. It's just that, it adds a little, you're like, you need me. You better need me. Yes. It is such a cool jam.
It's an amazing jam. Yo, what's up, Mambo VP? My name is Mbithi, the Kamba boy, and you're watching the Story Clip Show. Stay tuned.
See, I wanna hold money in my hand like I don't die. Dai yangu ichune kama tatu za ronga. Squeezing in a points, super tunabonga. After show ni kushow vile mini donga. So itisha mzinga, leo mini kona nyuki. Situko Mombasa, situko na nyuki.
Well, I was creating, me and Kimbo created a couple of jams. Mm-hmm. And then Aye was one of them. Mm-hmm. Same as to how I come up with my things. I just think of when the song was when we're done with the song, and I started thinking of concepts and how we could bring this to life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So also, I'm quite handy. I'm quite DIY with things.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always DIY with things. So we figured so I figured I should buy like a couple of bags, find locations and a concept and highlight. Like most of the people in the video are like my friends. My friends and plus ones. Like, they come a day. Mama, they come the boy. Like, come on, bitch, is that all Dunga? We have to do Dunga. And stuff like that. And then there's the owner of some guy called Tank, runs Alchemist.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to Peng, who runs Alchemist, and told him that I have these videos that I'd love to shoot at a location that I had spotted in his premises. Akaniambia,
Come
sure,
through, come
welcome.
through.
Utabonga na mseu. Utabonga na mseu huko nyuma, then atakusort mtajua time na shoot. Yeah, nikaenda River Road. Ah man, I love River. Nikaenda River Road kwenye Makimo huko downtown. And then bought bulbs, wires, just everything, and all sorts of accessories that I would get to, like I would need to pimp the place, to pimp the set, to create a proper set. Yeah, just to create a set. Yeah, and then I had told the idea to the director called Johnson Chalo, and he liked it, and he was like, yeah, let's shoot it. So, yeah, we did the jam. The video was amazing. The shoot was crazy. It was fun, and it was interesting just trying out new things. Like we put LED lights in an umbrella, and then with 3 ladies, and it was lighting. It was just such a cool concept as well. Yeah, so I loved the experience. I loved creating it. This is why I love doing music. I literally do music so that I can shoot dope videos for them.
It really does sound like it. It sounds like you worked backwards and forward sometimes, which is so cool because it is such a cool video. And then even the lyrics on the song, I think he did it with, was it Kimboy? Was that the song he did with Kimboy?
Yeah, Kimboy.
And
shout out to Kimboy.
He's just a goofy guy as well. And I was like, you guys did so good. And for those who don't know, aye means apana. Yani aye. Sitaenda aye.
Kazoni pushing the culture.
Aye. Nimekata. Let's talk about another, I think a bit more of an old song, but sort of new. This is Crush with Wendy K. It is an old song. Like, we can't lie. That song is from like back in the day, but it is still really, really cool a song. And I love that for most of your videos, especially when you have, most of your collaborations are with women. We have Brandy, we have Wendy. You've done so many songs with some powerful, powerful women. But Crush is so cute. Like, it's so cute. It's so cute. It reeks of innocence.
Yes, very innocent. It's such a however, believe that I love you. It's such a chilled jab.
Yeah.
Because Wendy K gives me some very sensual vibes when it comes to songs. Like she knows how to really, make a jump tick, especially R&B, slow jump, love songs. Yeah, she knows how to create to spark the emotions. Yeah.
Pull those heartstrings.
So it was her jam, and she reached out and sent it to me, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. And also, at the end of the day, how would I complete this jam? So you fit that piece of puzzle that is remaining just to create a classic jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to love this completing versus competing vibe that you have. It's a very lost concept, especially I think locally. Our industry is so young. Like we're babies, but there's always such bile. There's always such competition. Except for now, I'm seeing a new age of music where people borrow concepts. People come together. I've seen Charisma on like every song. He has a song with Saru. He has a song with you. Like Charisma is everywhere. I'm just like, bro, I need to get you on this show. Charisma, hit me up. Khalemi Habibi. But like, there's that fusion. You see Charisma with Akina Mutoria, and then you. And there's so many amazing artists that are coming up. It's like a new generation of, look, guys, we can only make it if we come together. So why not help each other complete our music and make it something that is substantial as opposed to doing something subpar simply because you don't want someone else to hop on the beat, Speaking of people hopping on beats, Uko featuring King Kaka, or are you the one featured?
Uko. No, I'm the one featured.
You're the one featured.
Yeah.
Such a dope jam. Like, He's so playful, I can't. I love King Kaka. He's very witty with how he writes. So like it was listening to two very good people coming together and creating such a funny jam. It's just Uko. Uko. So come to Uko.
Shapiga ishaweza nimeicheza wenipe ratiba vile takula hii pesa.
Nasikia kuna waresu wapoa sana westi wale wako suramao ya wawezi.
We wacha bana kwanza vile ulinyonji liwateki niko na mapicha kwa tenjes nilikucheki.
Uko west, uko wapi, uko na who, uko na nani, uko west, uko wapi, uko na who, uko na nani.